You can find them on Twitter, you can find them on the gram. After listening to their podcast, you'll be sitting there like, damn, taking their teaching from one level to the next, reaching up to Canada and down to Mexico.
So can you just tell us about maybe even the project that kind of Xander was in, and then we can let Xander kind of tell us about his role and his thoughts about it, and maybe how it was different from things that he's maybe done in the past.
Absolutely. So Xander was in my language arts class last year, and we first connected just around his life experience. I'll let him tell you about his world travel and his wanderlust, his love for travel. But the way I think we first made our like super connection was through the Goals Project with Jen Williams. Last year was its first year. This year it's coming in January. I'm super excited. And they basically just give you a goal to work with. And we got, Xander, do you remember? Peace, justice, 17. And strong institutions, right? So nice. It was 16. And then we just, we kind of connected everything we could to peace, justice, strong institutions with relation to school, with relation to what was going on in the world. We started reading A Long Walk to Water, which is the personal narrative we start at the beginning of the year to connect with the goals and connect with literature as a record of human experience and just honoring people's stories and the hero's journey. And so from there, Xander kind of took that goal. I feel like, Xander, you kind of took that goal under your wing, and you're like, we need to do something on this planet so violence doesn't exist like this, and so that there are strong school systems for every person in the world, and so that these things don't happen the way that we are seeing them now. And I feel like you just personalized it. Xander, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So my journey last year with the global goals is I switched my goal several times because different things happened to me, which really inflicted how I felt and what I felt like needed the most attention to. And there was that one point, which I did goal 16, which I'm still doing. And the one reason I did that is I thought I was thinking more about my family history. And that my parents and my older sister immigrants to America from Africa. And I thought about that more, and I also knew, like, it's important to me how in South Africa they have a lot of violence, and I felt like that, and that's the whole reason I moved to Colorado, America, is because we need to get away from the violence. And so I realized that was such an amazing place, and I didn't want to just have to leave that for some sort of reason that wasn't the best. So I started working on finding some sort of way to fix how that was going, because it just was so personal to me, and it felt so incredibly important to do that.
Thanks for listening to the Teacher Nerds podcast. Keep up with every new episode by subscribing on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor, or anywhere you listen. Remember to visit teachernerds.com, and that's nerds with a Z. Follow us on Twitter @TeacherNerds and on Instagram @TeacherNerdsPodcast. And thank you for being one of the Teacher Nerds.